Hey, my amazing artists. This week we're going to be doing a dinosaur-themed landscape drawing. So that means we're going to talk a little bit about drawing from shapes, drawing from reference, and we're going to review our foreground, middle ground, and background lesson. To get started, what I wanted to do is make a triceratops, and so I'm starting with really, really big shapes. I'm using a lot of ovals, trying to keep in mind what I know. Obviously, I don't have reference photos for this because we don't really know what dinosaurs totally looked like, but you can look online using your Chromebook to try and find some good examples of what dinosaurs might be looking like. And then I want you to try and draw the big shapes first and then move into your details. Since our project isn't drawing a dinosaur, it's really drawing a landscape inside of the shape of a dinosaur, what I want to do is try and focus on the outline or the silhouette of my dinosaur drawing, trying to add in some little details after making my big shapes, like the horns and the spine ridges, in order to give me a really interesting design for my dinosaur. After erasing some of the interior lines that I made, what I'm going to do is start thinking about what I want for my foreground, right, which is closest to me, my middle ground, and then my background, which is the part of the landscape that is the farthest away from me. I wanted to have some interesting shapes, and I looked up reference pictures of Arizona because I kind of wanted to do a deserty, yellow, orange type landscape. You can, of course, look up any pictures of landscapes that you're interested in. So maybe you're looking up mountains, maybe you're looking at ocean pictures or beaches. Whatever you do, try and pick out the foreground, the middle ground, and the background, and just kind of practice with your eye and see what kind of shapes you notice. This is going to help you draw your landscape into your dinosaur silhouette. From here on out, I'm going to be using some paint markers in order to add colors and details to my drawing. However, if you do not have access to these materials, that is a-okay. You can use pencils, colored pencils, crayons, and if you don't have any of that, you can just use a pencil and try and add different types of shading or different details in to differentiate the background, the middle ground, and the foreground. If you need a reminder about what the background, middle ground, and foreground are, just keep watching this video. What I'm doing is I'm going to start from the background, the very, very farthest thing away from me, and I'm going to draw that in first, which you can see right now what I'm doing with this peach color. And then I continue to move forward or closer to the viewer of the picture. So I start with my background, right? Making my clouds, making my sky, and then I move into the mountains, which are my middle ground elements. Remember, it's middle ground because it's right in the middle of what we see. And then after that, I move into my foreground, and my foreground is the stuff that is the closest to me. You'll see in a little bit, I use red to make the foreground. It's things like the cactuses, things like the rocks, things that are more detailed. Another way that you can differentiate the background and the foreground and the middle ground, I did that out of order, is the level of detail that you see in your landscape drawing, right? So the foreground is going to be much more detailed. It's going to have a lot more things in it. And then the middle ground is going to be slightly less detailed. And then the background is the least detailed thing. So you want to just have very, very plain shapes and just like really blocky colors and shapes, things that aren't very detailed. thank you for watching, learning, and creating with me. I look forward to making the next video. See you next time, my amazing artists.